Start with the indices first, and as always, ask me questions as you guys go along. So I'll start with S&P. Still seeing this still a little bit what I want to call need a little bit more development. Okay, if you guys recall when price was in this area, I mentioned it can go either way. So we break to the top, right, and then we pretty much had a reverse impulse down and potentially a small correction here. Um, what I want to see here, this is not too enough for me to just go in the short yet, okay? Because what can I see over time is that price can just be in this overall kind of corrective structure moving down, and ultimately you're just seeing this as a bigger correction for this move up. And if you zoom out on the higher time frame here, is that you can just see that this is just one big impulse, and this can just be a correction. This is a lower time frame impulse, and you're looking for another continuation. Okay, that's what I'm seeing this currently. But of course, the other possibility or the other probable one is that this is the reverse impulse that I talk about many times, and this can be a continuation correction, and we can just start seeing this moving downwards to the previous low. Okay, so what I want to see now is if it's going to go down, I want to see a little bit more clarity, a little bit more confirmation like this. Okay, whereas if I'm looking for long, then I'm looking for a little bit um, more of a descending kind of structure that will form here on the lower time frame and then potentially move up from this point forward. The reason being, I still have a pretty strong bias for a continuation long. You can look at a few other indices. They're pretty much showing us similar kind of price action, right? This is Nasdaq. We go to Dow Jones. Same amount. This is actually we break out this overall structure, and then lower time frame wise, potentially you can be making a development of a correction here for a continuation. And I talk about a few other indices around the world. They all look pretty bullish to me now, right? This is just kind of what I'm seeing. I showed this last time as well, but everything is to me is kind of showing that bullish continuation correction on higher time frame is potentially finished, and we're just getting that next impulse from the higher time frame, right? So looking like this is what's going on most of the market. Can argue otherwise. I even see Nikkei Asian indices. They're looking pretty similar. This is Singapore 30, and last one UK 100. Even this one is actually going pretty bullish as well, right? So most of them are showing pretty bullish sign. Okay, and just going down to lower time frame, just kind of be a little bit more patient. Are we going to get continuation correction? That is the only way that I'm looking to get in on one of these trades and then continue to push up the price. Okay, so that's what I see. Yeah, exactly, Ben. That's exactly right. Is that the sell is very probable as well, right? So if, like you said, if you're looking for the sell, if it start dropping, then like you said, move it to break even, and you're pretty safe, and see how far the bearish move can go, right? And that's a very good point as well. So if that's what within your plan to do, I feel definitely that could be the sell down here, right? So thanks, Connie. Appreciate that. So that's all the indices I'm looking at. Okay. Let's jump into gold really quick. I think gold, most of you guys are also looking at gold as well. So let's talk about gold really quick. Um, what I see gold here, I think that's what Robert's saying, what's going on with gold. Um, if you, some of you guys were talking about this sell. I remember seeing this, and I'm sure there's other people who got in this sell. So good job on your part. I personally didn't, because I was more looking at gold for a long. But as long as the price is still within this kind of a structure, I'm seeing that I'm still more neutral on what it's going to do more on the higher time frame. So we had this drop down here very impulsively. But what is going to happen here is pretty crucial, right? Is this going to develop into some sort of continuation? We're going downside, and we're just going to break all previous low, and this just going to turn on into a full kind of bearish kind of trend, right? That's one way of seeing this. Whereas what I'm seeing this currently, as far as this is still the price action I'm seeing, is that we potentially could get a double bottom here on the price action, and we're still in this overall structure, right? So if we get these lower time frame reversal, right, this is what I'm seeing. Instead of a continuation to go down, what if we start getting reversal price action here and price start going up bullishly? That's also a possibility, right? So here, what the price is going to do is super crucial. I think it's um, very key to just be a little bit more patient to wait here, right? When this pull up there, I remember I was talking to someone, don't just jump into the sell here. You're gonna get trapped, right? Or you're gonna get stop out because you just had such a strong push down. Naturally, the market needs to correct. Okay, it's just not going to be in the free fall, right? Even see a fall like this, it takes this much correction for the next sell, right? And then this much, if this is the structure that you guys are seeing, we just had a sell like this, then you're looking for a larger correction or something like that to continue downwards, right? If that's what it's in your plan to look for Excel. Okay, so for me, still pretty neutral on this. I'm more inclined to look for a buy rather than a sell. I just want to see what the price will do in this area, and then are we going to get reversal and push up this point forward? So that's gold. Hopefully, I explained some of you guys' question there. Do you teach mentorship? I have a lot of these educational stuff on YouTube and TradingView, Connie, if you want to take a look, and in my Telegram if you're interested. Um, I thought gold moved inverse correlation from the dollar. Uh, yes, but not always, right, Robert? Nothing is 100% correlated, right? Not for buy only, Connie. Like how I said, my analysis or my bias is looking for a potential buy, but the sell is also probable, like I said, right? It's just that how you see the market and what you want the market to do in this area. If I'm looking for the sell, then like I said, you need to find a continuation correction here. Whereas for me, looking for a buy, then I want to find reversal correction, reversal price action at this point forward. Okay. Stream stop froze on mine. Okay. Is it good for everyone? Hopefully. Um, finally made it to life, John, John. Hope it's not freeze for everyone. Hope this is okay, and I'll continue on this way. Good, good, good. So that's gold, guys. So let's move on to. Let's just jump into currency now. Okay. So I think currency. I saw a few of the pairs that you guys are looking at. So I'll go over them relatively quickly, and we'll go from there. If you have any question, let me know. Yeah, no problem, Connie. So dollar index, right? Currently, I'm still seeing this as a potential bearish, okay? And this is what I'm seeing here on a little bit more higher time frame. So I talk about that price was in this overall kind of a larger kind of a channel structure, and we finally have kind of a breakdown. And when the price started moving up here correctively, and I mentioned, like don't just jump into the buy because after a strong push down like this, if the market is going to correct itself, they're likely going to do here, right? If it's going to continue downwards, and that's kind of what I'm seeing currently. Um, so this can just kind of correct itself a little bit longer, right? And potentially looking for the downside. For now, that's kind of what I see, right? And if I just zoom out here a little bit on the higher time frame, um, this was the previous low. I think the lowest possible point before kind of the next previous low. And we're just right in this middle of the area. And the longer and the wider and deeper this correctional structure go, the more to me that this is the one big impulse and this can just be a correction and we can potentially get the next push down, right? And that's so far that's still what I'm seeing. Okay, and but not too many dollar pair is really on my watch. I'll go over a couple. Okay, not all of them. I'm more inclined to the other ones that I'm seeing. Okay, so let's jump into Kiwi dollar. Kiwi dollar was one of the pairs someone was asking. This is kind of what I see, and maybe this is going to be different than what you guys are seeing. I'll explain my part here. DXY is on the expo. Yes. So what I'm seeing here on Kiwi dollar, and I mentioned this, I think it was on the New York session or an Asian session, that I know most of us are probably looking for the sell, right, when price was in this area. And even I was looking at it and I was mentioning, hey, don't jump into the trade until you see really the first kind of lower time frame push down and then a correction to get in, right? And then I said this sell will be very good risk reward if this happens. But it did not. We just continue to move upwards. And this is kind of what I'm seeing now is that even though, here, let me just go down. Even though some of you guys may draw something like this, okay, and I agree that this can just be a longer period of consolidation still being dropped. But what I'm seeing now is because we break all previous top now, okay, we break over previous top and we break it pretty impulsively. We're not really in a corrective stage, in my personal opinion. I see this as a really strong impulsive move. So if we see a continuation correction here, that's actually going to be a buy for me personally. Whereas if this is going to drag on a little bit longer, and if it can correct itself a little bit longer and wider, then looking for the same sell on this down is the same thing, right? This is just a longer period of consolidation, and if you do see that push down and then kind of lower time frame correction, this is still valid sell for me. But because I'm seeing this differently, I'm seeing this from a higher time frame that this is just breaking our previous high. Usually I will be looking for a sell, but because this is such an impulsive break to the upside, and my confirmation for me is just, are we going to get lower time frame correction here? Right? If it's going to form lower time frame correction right after we break the high, then I'm looking for the buy, right? But if it's going to develop a little bit more structurally, a little bit more correctively here on the lower time frame, then look for the sell after that first confirmation from this point forward. All right, but for now, nothing, not too much that I'm seeing. No sell or no buy currently. Want to see this is going to develop a little bit more if it's going to, and then take it from there. Okay. So that is Kiwi dollar. Let's go pound dollar. I think pound dollar is the only one that looks like it's going to be uh, bullish on the dollar. Okay, so I'll go over kind of what I'm seeing again. I think some of you guys are also seeing this. And I mentioned about pound dollar many times when price is kind of in the middle-ish area where I'm not too interested in the sell. But this is a little bit different because we're at the top of the structure now, right? We're overall at the top. Price has been pushed up to the top of this overall structure, and it's very corrective in my personal opinion. This is more of ascending kind of channel or of a rising wedge, whatever you see it, but it's very correctively pushing price up. And we're at the top of these overall correction, which is also good. And we have this kind of a lower time frame impulse move from the 15-minute or lower time frame even down to 5 minute. And what the price is going to do here is very crucial. Are we going to get a continuation here? Likely to develop through the Asian session and then looking for a possible entry on London session for that sell. And even just down to the bottom of the structure here will give you pretty good reason, sorry, pretty good and decent risk reward. That's what I'm trying to say. Um, so even with maybe 50 pip stop loss or whatnot, depending on what the correction will do, even just down to the lows of the structure, so 4.821 or something like that. So very good sell. Even just to the bottom, right? Like I said, when I talk about structurally, when price is in this overall consolidation, yes, this sell is probable and likable, but doesn't mean that this will be the sell to break continuation. Whereas it can bounce up here and then start going up again, right? And you guys have to understand structurally nothing changes because this is just one bigger corrective structure for this move. It's just that this push down that we're looking at currently may or may not be the bearish continuation from this point forward. Okay, so you have to keep that in mind. Why I always talk about setting the or at least your target at the lows of the structure, because there's always a chance that price can just reverse from that point forward. Okay, so that is what I see on pound dollar. Your risk reward is not fixed, not 3 to 1. 3 to 1 is an average. What I'm saying, Connie. Obviously, it depends on every pair and what every different market, right? 3 to 1 is a minimum that I'm trying to have if I'm going to enter a trade. Doesn't mean that my target has to limit to 3 to 1. Okay, so in this sense, because because of the move, because of the amount of space that you can push, then obviously you can extend that profit, right? Can we look at dollar yen? I'm gonna go over dollar yen now, actually, because that's a trade that I'm in. I'm gonna go over dollar yen really quick. So dollar yen, personally seeing it more bullish. I'm looking at this as a more bullish potential reversal from the bottom. And I talk about this in the weekly update and New York update as well, right? So let's take a look here. So higher time frame here, I like how the price is in this overall higher time frame structure. We're at the lows already every time. And when we zoom down here on the lower time frame, this is also a very parallel channel structure that we're just getting corrective structure within. And last bit of this kind of descending channel as well, we see this push down on that lower time frame. but there's just no continuation from this point forward. Instead, we had this bullish reversal impulse, which is what I like to see. And then potentially this is a continuation correction. So I just got tagged in here for entry order. I think it was today in the morning in the Linux session or something. I was already sleeping at the time, so I just set an entry order. Anyways, so happy to see what the trade will do in this area. I'm happy to see the upcoming days. Is this going to continue push up? First target just at the top of this overall structure. It's about 5 to 1 already, but longer time frame, you can see that price can really continue to the top of the structure as well. So I'll manage accordingly and see what happened to the market in the upcoming weeks and month on dollar yen. So let's move on. Aussie cat. I think someone asked about Aussie cat, right? So I'm still, and I mentioned about still seeing this a potential bullish continuation. Okay, I see this as a really strong impulsive move. This can just be a falling wedge correction, but in this case, it's a continuation correction. And going down to the lower time frame, we finally break out of this overall kind of sorry, the sun is in my eyes. We finally break out this kind of continuation wedge kind of channel structure, and we had this bullish push up, which is good. This was the first kind of a bullish continuation. We had another push up, so waiting to see what the market will do in this area. It seems like it's consolidating here a little bit, so waiting for the kind of the push up from here, this going forward would be nice. Aussie Swiss. So Aussie Swiss, personally still looking at this as a potential bullish push. Okay, and I talked about this yesterday. I know maybe some of you guys are looking at it bearish, and like I said, that's fine, right? It's all about um, your your analysis and how you manage it, how you take the trades, right? So as long as this is in your plan to take a trade, don't let others kind of influence your decision too much, right? So my personal kind of bias on this is that we still see this as an overall higher time frame structure from this bullish push. And within this larger structure, we have all this kind of an impulse correction impulse. We have this kind of a price action moving. But the latest price action, like I mentioned a few times, is I like this potential double bottom. I like how this is a very strong bullish push on the lower time frame. There was a few potential correction, but I don't think they were very decent enough to get in. But what the price will do here is very crucial. Is it going to correct here and then push up, or is it going to push up right away and then looking for a correction after this breakout from the higher time frame correction? Would be ideal for me to look for a possible continuation this point forward on Aussie Swiss. I just like overall, if you look at the price action, that this is just a large descending channel, and then we break the lows and we pop to the upside in a very strong bullish trend, and then bullish continuation correction, and this is an inverse head and shoulder pattern, and this is what I'm currently seeing right now. And so potentially we can get this next higher time frame bullish push. Okay, so you just keep getting sun in my eye. That's why I have this blind on, but I'm trying to adjust myself so it's a little bit better. Okay, so a little bit better like this. So any question, let me know, guys. I'm gonna continue to Aussie yen. You always wait for consolidation after breakout. No, it depends. It's kind of. I have a few videos explaining that, Connie, if you're interested. It takes a little bit long to explain all that, so feel free to watch my video that will explain my entries and whatnot. Richie, when you mentioned about waiting for a lower time frame impulse and continuation correction, how many 15-minute candles do you wait for the impulse confirmation and then flag correction? I think what you're saying is how many candles I need to wait until I see until that confirms. It's not necessarily candles. I think this is a little bit easier to explain. Is that it's not necessarily candles. Okay, so like for example here, like in Aussie yen, I'll go over my take on this. Is that I personally looking for a bullish continuation. So in this case on Aussie yen, let's just start with higher time frame. I'll explain that question. Um, this to me is the same thing as previous all the structure we're seeing. This can be a continuation for this move. and we're potentially getting this push out from the lower time frame. And lower time frame wise, I'm seeing this as a potential break, a potential impulse on the lower time frame. So we break out the structure, good. So naturally, I'll be waiting for a continuation correction here to continue. And so your question about candles, it's not necessarily candles, it's about structure. I think this is the key, is that I want at least two swing high and swing low. You see why how I join the trend lines is how I want to see structure to develop. It's not necessarily how many candles. It's about, do we have a swing high, swing low, swing high, swing low to make it a structure for the continuation. Okay, this is what I want to see for a potential buy. Okay, and I do see some of you guys are potentially seeing this as a sell. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? I would just be careful if once the sell, and if the sell break this previous low, certainly going to move my stop to break even and then see if the price is going to continue or is it going to reverse this point forward. Okay, that's why I'm not too interested in the sell. I know some of you guys may be looking at a sell, and I personally just weighted more heavily on what the higher time frame is telling me, and I do like this overall push, all of this overall structure. So naturally, I'll be looking for a potential continuation here for the continuation upside. Okay, so hope that answers that question. Let's continue. Richie, same question. You gotta check out my entry videos. It's not always from the breakout. I have a couple videos on entries, so you check that out if you have a chance. Yeah, I'm gonna continue. Okay. Swiss yen. I'll go over cat yen first. Someone asked me about cat yen. Again, I do see this more potential bullish. Okay, and I'm not in any of these trades because I'm just waiting for a little bit more development. I personally like the fact that we're in this overall larger structure. Okay, it's very neutral. Originally, I had a few kind of sell entries down when its prices in this overall consolidation, but the more I see the structure develop, the more I see that it can be turned on into a bullish move. So if we zoom out here, just following this overall piece here on the higher time frame, we had these kind of sell, right? And I originally had this sell bias, of course. And when I didn't see price break the low, and then potentially this is like a double bottom of this overall structure, and we had this impulse correction, impulse pushing up, right? And we're at the top of the overall structure now. So it's very important to see and wait what the price will do here. You can tell the price is already consolidating here, right? And then the more consolidating here, the better it is going to give us the more clue that is this going to be a reversal correction to push the price down, or this is going to be continuation. Okay, so to me right now it's not too clear until a little bit more development, right? I know some of you guys potentially were looking at a sell here, and again, nothing wrong with that. It's just that now the more as it corrects in this area, it gives me less kind of a bias for the sell, right? I understand that there was an impulse, correction, impulse, right? But more as it consolidates in this area, the more I think that this can just be a longer period of consolidation or correction before the next up move. Okay, but not too clear. So wait for a little bit more development here would be nice. Swiss yen. Yeah, I'm gonna check out Swiss yen. Okay, Swiss yen. Same thing. Not too looking at the long, not too looking at short anymore because overall structure. Now go over euro yen as well. Euro yen was another one that I was also kind of looking at it differently now. So Swiss yen, looking to me that this is just looking at as a more of a continuation, right? We have this push up, and this is just a continuation that it's creating. We could potentially break out and going up this point forward. And that's really what I see on most of the yen pairs now. Originally had a short bias, right? We had this double top, we broke down, we had a continuation, and just you can see the continuation move just did not break the low, did not continue lower, and you're just getting different kind of trend from the lower time frame. And that's kind of how I personally want to adjust to what I'm seeing, right? I can't be married to my analysis. I had originally short, yes, but as price and structure continue to evolve, then you need to adjust your bias on them as well, right? So personally, see Swiss yen as more bullish move. Okay, and I'll go over euro yen because it's pretty much identical, and I see it more clearly than Swiss yen. So looking at euro yen here, very like see that overall this kind of descending channel on the higher time frame, and then correcting the price all the way down, and then we had this first impulse correction, impulse breaking out of this descending channel, and then potentially we're forming a continuation correction here for the continuation upside. And that's what I'm seeing now, because originally I had this as a double top, and then we're potentially seeing this push down. But as you see, price had this correction pushed down, and there's just no continuation moving forward, right? On the lower time frame, this was the original potential structure. We had an impulse, correction, impulse, but then no continuation pushing forward. Instead, we had a reversal impulse pushing up. And if we get a continuation correction here, that would be very decent to get in. Okay, I'm not in this one yet, but I'm looking to get into this one. I do like this potential buy as well, just waiting to see what the price will do. Again, waiting for a little bit of development here to give you that one last confluence that this is a continuation for this move. On the lower time frame, we can get the next lower time frame push up. And from a higher time frame perspective, this can be the next beginning of the higher time frame run. All right, so that's what I see on euro yen. So very similar like Swiss yen. So let's continue Kiwi yen. So Kiwi yen, remember on the outlook yesterday or weekly outlook, when some of you guys are asking me, is it going to be a sell? Is it going to be a short? I mean, buy? And I mentioned you don't need to guess, right? When the price was here, and I mentioned, remember, those of you who watched my video last two, is that I mentioned about don't need to guess, because what is price likely to do here is going to be only two things, right? It's going to be forming a correction, and all we need to tell is it going to be a reversal correction, or is it going to be a continuation? There's only two possible corrections. And because we just push up this impulsively very strong, usually when you see a correction here, it's going likely to be a continuation, right? And I mentioned I don't need to guess, right? I don't need to, have to be right on my analysis. I just need to be patient and wait for a little bit more development. So you see price pop to the outside now, which is good. So this is becoming a bullish continuation. And on the higher time frame, you can tell that we're breaking all previous high, right? All previous high. Again, not jumping into the trade right away. You want to see just a little bit more development here and give you one last confluence that this is going to be one big impulse now. And if it's going to be a continuation correction here out of this larger higher time frame structure, then we can get that next higher time frame push up. Okay, if we zoom to the higher time frame here, again, you're seeing the same thing as a descending channel on a higher time frame. Price has been correctly pushed down. So impulse, reversal correction, impulse up, and potentially continuation correction here to continue the price moving up to the next top. Okay, that's what I see on some of these yen pairs, or most of these yen pairs, and that's why I'm looking at them as a more potential bullish now from my point of view. Okay. Yeah, any question, let me know, guys. I'm gonna continue. So let's look at Euro Aussie. Euro Aussie is still on my wing watch list. I talk about this for a few weeks now, right? That I like this overall impulse move on the higher time frame, and this looks very clean to me as a continuation correction, continuation kind of a flag correction to continue the downside. And going down here on the lower time frame, this is a very crucial area now I talk about, is that when price is at the bottom of the overall higher time frame structure, we have this previous lows, right? And again, price can do really two things, is that even though this is a descending channel or falling wedge, that usually is going to be a reversal structure and a reversal price action to push the price up. But don't discount the fact that price can just start breaking below and then continuation to the downside. That's what happened to Euro Kiwi, which I will go over after. But what I'm saying is that this is an area where you don't want to jump in to rush. Okay, you want to give the price a little bit more development, right? We go down to even lower time frame here, we're getting the price squeezing in this area. So naturally, I will be looking for that first breakout from here and then first correction to go forward. Okay, that's usually in this case it's still, and we're at the bottom of the structure, right? So that's usually one way of taking advantage of the trade, because you have lots of room to the upside and you want the price to continue to the next top's upside, and then looking for the sell from that point forward. Okay, but also understand that price can just start trickling down, 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 breaking this previous low, and then waiting and then forming a correction here to push down more. Okay, so I would more be inclined to look for this because it's inclined to the higher time frame bias, right? The higher time frame, I still have the short bias on higher time frame. So impulse, larger correction, and waiting for the next impulsive phrase of the market on the higher time frame. So this correction here on the lower time frame here will give me the idea that this move can potentially be the next higher time frame impulse, and that this can just continue down lower and lower and lower from this point forward. Okay. So waiting for this one. This one should look very good. I'm more inclined to look for the sell. Okay. So that's Euro Aussie. Euro Aussie is for sell. Like I said, you have to be patient and waiting for what I said. It's not just jumping to the trade, right, Connie? It's not just jumping to an entry now. It's waiting for the confirmation I mentioned here. Euro pound. Some of you guys are looking at euro pound, so let's look at euro pound. Remember I talk about um, don't jump into the trade when you see some low test candle or something like that, right? I think remember someone asked me this question is, I'm not gonna jump into a trade because I see a low test candle or bullish engulfing candle. I'm more inclined to jump in the trade when I see correct price action development, right? So to me, we're at the previous low, so double bottom here, which is good. And if we zoom down to lower time frame, is potentially forming a descending kind of a structure. That's also good. And we had this bullish push up to the upside. That's also good. That's what I want to look for, not just one or two candle to prove to me that it might be bullish. The overall price action and the structure has to give me a little bit more confluence for that kind of bias for the buy. Okay. So what I want to see a little bit, I don't see this as enough kind of push. I want to see price continue to push up, and then for me a continuation correction to push forward. Okay, um, because we have been in this overall consolidation. So don't be surprised if even if you get in this buy that we go to the top and then we start dropping down once again. Okay, and that's why I mentioned the more safer trade if you're looking for euro pound is you want to wait for price to just continue up, breaking above this structure here and then continue up from this point forward. That would be a much safer and more probable trade to happen. Okay. So, but personally, I'm not too interested in this buy even to the top here. Okay, so that's euro pound. Uh, let's move on to euro kiwi. So euro kiwi, um, price continued to drop. Remember last week when some of you guys were looking at a buy from here, a potential descending channel, and I mentioned because we're in the impulsive move of the lower time frame, even though this is normally a reversal structure to continue push up, but it can turn into a continuation structure to push lower, right? So in this case, it did, and that's why looking at everything from a higher time frame perspective is very important. Is that we had an impulse, and this is a larger correction, right? And if you guys recall, all the time when the price is at the top, we're looking for the sell, right? Looking for the sell, looking for the sell, and the last sell that we did continue to push the price down, but I would not hold the trade because I wouldn't know what price will do here. Is it going to bounce up one more time before the drop, right? And that's why I'm usually like to secure my profit here and then wait a little bit more development from this point forward. So price continue to drop. This is good because if we zoom out here on the higher time frame now, um, overall we're just in this overall kind of a collectional structure still, right? We're just in this overall larger kind of a structure that we're making, and I want to see price continued downside. Okay, that's what I see. This it has a lot more momentum for the downside. We had this push up from COVID, and then again we just had this reversal push down from this point forward. So what I want to see, same idea, waiting for price to just continue breaking the previous low, and then waiting for correction to develop here would be nice. to continue the sell down to the bottom here. And that's really good risk reward trade if you want to get into this sell right here. That is Euro Kiwi. So let's go to Kiwi CAD. Kiwi CAD is a trade I'm in. I'm in for the buy. Okay, I know some of you guys may look at this as a sell. So again, different bias, different opinion. That's no problem. And I'll explain my side, my bias, my point of view on this. So Kiwi CAD, I like the overall structure because if we zoom out here on the higher time frame, that we had just been continuing pushing up, and finally there is some sort of structure here. There's really not much structure in all this area, whereas the higher time frame we finally have this kind of a descending parallel channel, and then on the lower time frame we had this potentially impulse up from that bottom of this channel, right? This is the bottom of that previous channel I talked about. We finally push up from the price, and then we're forming a larger kind of a correctional structure here. And I like how there's a couple swing highs, a couple swing lows, and then we had this impulse, correction, impulse, breaking out of this correctional structure. Very good. And naturally, I will just be looking for a continuation. So going down to the lower time frame, this was the breakout, and this was just a clean 15-minute correction that I was looking for, and I just put in the entry order. Or actually, I jumped in this order live. Forgot to put in the entry order, but this is where I would have entered anyways. So I'll continue this one and then see what the price will do. The only area that I want to watch out for is just the previous top, so which is very close already. And if we continue break this previous top and then continue forward, then I'll likely to hold the trade to continue to push up from this point forward. Okay, so that's Kiwi CAD. Let's talk about Kiwi Swiss. Kiwi Swiss for me still looking for bullish continuation. Really, it's the same across some of these Kiwi pairs. Is that we had this impulse move, and this is just a larger continuation. We finally pushed the price up, right? And we break the previous high, and now we break this previous high level, so which is a good thing. And going down to the lower time frame, this wasn't really a clean correction for me, but if we get a little bit more corrective structure here, then I will be looking for a buy from this point forward. I like the overall structure that we just break out from this overall structure here. So impulse correction, potentially impulse to the next previous high. So that's Kiwi Swiss. Pound Swiss. Pound Swiss, I didn't get into this one, but I was looking at this potential buy, right? And because we look at the lower time frame, we had this impulse, we had this larger structure, and price actually broke to the upside. And there was a mini correction here. I talked about the New York session. I mentioned this wasn't really enough structured for me to get in the trade. So happy to miss that. And prices were at the top of the structure now. So this is very crucial. You want to see what price will do in this area. Is it going to develop, once again, correctional structure? And then is it going to be a continuation correction to push this up forward? Or is it going to be reversal and we're going down one more time to the lows? Okay, so don't have to guess, guys. You just have to wait and be patient. I don't need to guess what it's going to do. I have a bias. I do have a bias for a buy, but I can observe the market to give me more clarity. I don't need to jump into the trade, guys. Okay, this is crucial where I talk about this. Some of you guys private message me about you got in some trades and you're just, after the result, it didn't go well and you're blaming yourself to jump in the trade. And I said, you just need to be a little bit more patient, right? Sometimes the structure or pattern isn't complete and you want to wait for a little bit more development before getting into the trades, okay? So that is pound Swiss. Last one, pound Kiwi. Pound Kiwi, someone asked me to go over this one. Not too interesting. Even though on the higher time frame is still looking pretty corrective structure in here. Overall higher time frame structure, you're looking for potential continuation to the lows, right? But I'm not seeing too much here on the lower time frame. A little bit messy in this whole area. And then we're approaching this low already. You could potentially look at this as a regular head and shoulder pattern, but I'd rather see head and shoulder as a reversal, right? I'd rather see head and shoulder at the top of the structure, so the reversal is likely to happen. right? Whereas if you see an inverse head and shoulder pattern at the bottom of the structure, it's good because you're looking for the reversal. Okay, but anyways, this could be just a larger correction for this move here and potentially looking for the downside. But I'm not a big fan, like I said, on the lower time frame. It's a little bit messy and swingy in this area. There's better Kiwi pairs to get in my opinion. Okay. Any question, guys? Any question, let me know. So last couple ones is crypto. So I'll jump into a few crypto. Not too much developed for Bitcoin. Just like I said, waiting for a larger structure to develop here, right? This is what you want to see here. Okay, so you want structure to develop something in a larger size, right? Because we already pushed up so much. Okay, so naturally you want to wait for a structure like this, and then once it break out, you look for a buy like this, right? Or like the previous structure when you have a bigger structure, push up and then looking for a buy, right? Something like this. Otherwise, you don't jump into the trade now. You're just waiting for a bigger structure to build up. It's more ideal at this point. Okay. Ethereum. Someone talk about Ethereum, right? Yeah. I was looking at this buy opportunity. I didn't get in or anything, but if you look at the price action, it doesn't change, right? You're waiting for a larger structure, push up, and you're looking for a lower time frame buy, push up, lower time frame continuation, and now um, price is doing the same thing. You have a correction here. You had a first impulse, first correction, another impulse, another correction to push the price up for. Wait, just be careful. We're approaching previous top already. Okay, so be careful to see what the price will do. If we're going to get impulsively break to the upside, then continue this point forward. If not, wait for a. Be careful of a reversal price action develop here. Okay. So last one is Link. So Link continued to push up, which is good. So a little bit messy here. Wanted to see what will happen here to push the price up more. You can see overall previous structure are very similar in that sense. So waiting for something similar to develop here would be ideal. Right? So that is everything I'm looking at for the next 24 or 40 hours. Any question, let me know, guys. Do I look for running channel corrections? Not look for, I guess, just um, any type of structures and channels or correction that gives me a clarity on is it going to be a reversal or is it going to be a continuation? That is really all I care about in terms of correction or structures and channels and stuff like that. Okay. Are you investing in Bitcoin, Jojo? No, I'm not. I'm not in any Bitcoin actually. I just trade Bitcoin. I don't buy Bitcoin, if that's what you meant. I don't have actual Bitcoin unit. Okay, I would trade Bitcoin, but I don't actually own any Bitcoin. Hope that makes sense. And even for me trading Bitcoins, I'm not. I mean crypto. I'm not even trading my full amount, anyways. I have I have an account with Coinbase. That's just a separate account to all my other portfolio. I just more trading crypto for long term swing trade and just taking it like that. I don't want to. I'm not day trading crypto. Okay, I day trade because when you trade a currency enough, it's enough exposure as it is. You don't need to risk yourself more into crypto or anything else because crypto is pretty volatile, and there's a lot of uncertainties, right? And it's open on the weekends as well, right? So you always post your entries on FX Book. It's not a post, Richie. It's a link, so it I cannot change that. It's not what I want to post or what I don't want to post. It's once you link an account on FX Book, every trade you take is going to show up there, regardless it's win or loss. Do you have any tips on investment compared to trading? Yeah. Trading is a buy and sell short term, right? Investment is a hold for a long term, right? So if you're investing in something, then you're investing in equities, right? Usually, equities like stocks, right, or any indices, or you're holding maybe crypto, right, for a long term hold on Bitcoin or whatever, right? So those are investment. Trading is more like what we do for currencies, right? We're trading, we're buying, selling, we're buying, selling within a few days, or maybe just 1 or 2 weeks max. That's trading, right? So. Yeah, so by the way, guys, like I said, I post all my stuff on my Telegram. Okay, so Telegram group that I will show all my, I do like market updates, streams, videos, all that stuff is in here. So feel free to join that for free. And someone asked earlier, asked about mentorship and all that. I don't really do that, but I post all my educational videos, lessons, all in my YouTube. I playlist them as well. So if you want lessons and things that are on here. Okay, so that makes it easy for you guys to learn and ask me questions and go from there. That's why having the Telegram is good because you can interact with everyone else, right? And I'll post everything I have on here, so it's easy for you guys to follow. And if you ask me questions, something that I see, then I'll try my best to answer them. Okay. Any other question, guys? Any other pairs or question that you're looking? Any other pairs you're looking at, or any other questions I can help you guys answer? Yeah, no worries, Richie. Well, I link one of the account on there, right? Just for honesty and transparent from all the trades that I take. So it's just easier to compare, right? So there's this one I started in October, early October, right? I mentioned about I'll just open a new account, deposit a small amount of money, and then see how we can do. And I have rules and have in place. That's only my Telegram if you want to check out, right? So, but that's the whole for you guys to as a learning curve, really, just to see how it will progress in the next 3 months, 6 months, year, and things like that. So, impressive vision of structure. Hey, no problem. Thank you. Am I a swing trader? Not really, Connie. I'm not a swing trader. More as a hybrid trader. I would enter the trades on lower time frame, so that's like a day trade, but I can hold the trade on a higher time frame, so more of a swing trade. So kind of a balance. Where's the link for one-on-one mentorship? No, Connie, sorry, I don't do the one-on-one mentorship for now. I'm just doing all the information is free online. You can take a look on the YouTube, Trading View, in my Telegram. It's all there. Okay, and the ebook, Rodrigo. Hopefully beginning of next year. Okay, hopefully beginning of next year. I'm working on it. I can give you guys a small peek. I don't usually do this, but I'll give you guys a small peek on what I have here. It's about 100 plus pages. Okay, these are all the stuff that I'm working on. Okay, this is just a sneak peek though. Okay, guys, so not complete or not finished yet, but I'm working on this. Hopefully, finish by end of this year. Okay. Are you ever considering offering mentor service? Yeah, yes and no, maybe. Okay. Depending on my time, I'm pretty busy with other things. I'm doing all this obviously as a way to give back. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm not really trying to make money off this. Hopefully you guys see why I'm doing all this. But obviously, if things gets out of more of my time, right? Because time to me is more important than money technically, right? When you have, let me put it this way, when you have passive incomes, when you have multiple source of income, then time is relatively more important to you, right? Because you no longer need to physically be there for a job. You can be doing other things while you have many source of income, right? That's what the typical people, you hear about the rich gets richer, right? Um, it's not just a phrase to say that, right? It's not just a phrase to say that, oh, the rich gets richer. It's more saying that the rich have many multiple source of incomes so that they can continue earning passive income. They can continue doing one thing while other things are just working behind them to make money, right? So great market as always, no worries. First time watching, good, good, nice to see you. My background, well, I had a video talking about my trading career. Feel free to watch it on YouTube. There's a video I made about my trading journey. But really, my background is I've been trading for about 7 years, I believe, 2013 to 2014, 2013, I think. Really just been trading since then. Um, and then obviously have ups and downs in trading. Obviously have many downs in trading. I didn't get to where I am today by within a year or something like that. It's not usually going to happen. Okay, so um, usually you want to wait. Usually, what's going to happen is you're going to jump into this industry, and then you're going to make a few good in the first few months. Everything seems very easy. You're going to think trading is going to be super easy, and then after a few months, you just run into some bricks, and you start taking bad trades, and you start blowing the account. Right? Everyone been through that kind of phrase. It's whether you understand what's going on in the market and you learn your mistake, you acknowledge the mistakes you make and you work on it to be better. That's for like any industry in the world, right? You want to be a doctor, like a physician working, to save lives. You're not going to do that in year one or year two, right? You're going to be doing that after 8 to 10 years of degree studying, and then you have your practicum, right? You're going to be working in a hospital. You're going to be what they call residents, right? So what I'm trying to say is, for such a profession, it takes 10 years to become a profession in that industry. So trading is no difference, right? Unfortunately, the today's world, we too many social media stuff make trading as the easiest thing you can possibly do, but we all know that's not true, right? You won't be watching my video if that's true, really, because I've been talking about trading is the hardest thing to do, and you need time and effort to do it, right? So get that in everyone's head, is if you want to be in trading, you're prepared to be in it for the long haul and learn it, make mistakes, and then go from there, right? So uh how long before you become consistently profitable? Probably 2 to 3 years, 2.5 years or so. So it takes a while, because most people will give up after a year. All right, Connie. Most people will give up after with real money trading. You often hear about, like, like the 90% give up within whatever, right? Whatever. There's general talk about how often people give up in trading, 3 months, 90 days, lose their 90% or blow a few accounts and they give up. That's usually the statistic you hear, right? So if a trader can go through that threshold, right, for the first couple years of just ups and down, and they will eventually get it, right? It's just how it works with us. So, by the way, in my FX book, in the part of open orders, does it always update as soon as you add an order? Uh, that's a good question. I really don't. I'm not really sure, but the point is, let's just check it right now. So, update 34 seconds ago. So are these updated? No, it doesn't. Are you talking about open trades or open orders? Because the open trades is not updated, right? Because Kiwi Cat is in profit, yeah, but Kiwi Cat here says is not. So, right? So that's kind of what I see why it's different. So not maybe just because it's the FXU is not instantaneously. I'm not sure, to be honest. I didn't run this or anything, but all I do is just link the account on here, right? So I don't know how often or how soon they will update all this, right? But the history, my understanding is correct. The history is correct. All the time entry, unit positions, open price, pips, net profit, all that is correct to my broker exactly. Okay, so all these information is exact, but maybe because these are more live, so to speak, they're not catching up. I'm not sure exactly. So, but that's how I see. Open orders, yeah, like I said, open orders should be relatively. I have seen a few where once I did open order, then it shows up here. But open trade maybe it doesn't update as quick or something. So, thanks for helping out for free. Yeah, no problem, Connie. Some of you guys know I'm working on the ebook, so hopefully I can have the ebook out, like I said, beginning of next year. Yeah, I mean, my understanding of my expo, my FX book is for actual clarity, honesty, transparency. It's not as used to show your trades right away, right? It's to show you that this account has actually taken these trades, and this account, in terms of its stats, that it's calculated very well and very neat, right? But it may not be a I think what you're trying to say is it may not be like a signal to show up all the trades right immediately, right, in this category here. So, uh, do you recommend to close trades early when in profit rather than waiting it to reverse and continue to go against you? Um, that all depends on what the price is doing. So that question is pretty general. I think what you're trying to say is what to do when the trade is going against you, when it start coming back down. Then you need to have a really good solid trading plan, right? You need to have a trading plan when that happens. It's not about this scenario, what will happen, what should I do? Next time it happens, what should I do? Then that's just choosing and really gambling, right? Being honest with you, I'm just trying to help you. What I'm saying is you need to have a plan from the get-go. So in this case, my plan, so KiwiCat is popping up now. Good. It's already in 1 to 1%. So I'm likely to move my stop to break even already. Okay, because I understand that we're approaching the previous high and price could reversal from this point forward. So I don't want to lose the trade here. So I'm gonna put my stop, move my stop to break even here. Okay, and I'll see what the price will do this point forward. That's in my trading plan, and that's what I'm going to do, right? I'm not going to wait for price to start dropping and I'm going to start choosing, oh, what should I do here? Should I close it down or should I let it run? What if you let it run and it hit your stop? You're going to hate yourself, right? And what if you step break even here and then price just go down a little bit and start reversing, right? Either way, you're going to get emotion, you're going to get stress about it. So you need to have a plan in place so that you will always do exactly the same so it doesn't get emotional on it. Okay. Exactly. Well, thanks for answering. And I agree that trading is about consistency. I'm like 6 months in and ready for the long run. Thanks for sharing. Yeah. I mean, trading is in the long run. Don't think it's going to be just a few months of work, right? I understand. I'm going to repeat this. I understand social media and everything. It's portrayed like this. And I can't help that, right? But what I'm telling you from an honest and transparent point of view is trading is not easy, right? It's going to require hard work, patience, consistency. You're going to get the most emotion. You're going to so emotionally attached to it. And the key is to be emotionally detached from your trades. Okay, that's really important. Is you have to be emotionally detached from trading as a whole. Otherwise, when you lose trades, you're gonna get so upset and stressed, especially when you have a large account of capital. Okay, that's super crucial, guys. Is that when you're trading a large account capital, when you're trading six figures account, in a major currency, let's just say six figures in US dollar, right? Let's just say you're trading $100,000, right? And then if you're if you're listening to me about risking 1% or 1.5%, so every trade is 1,000 to 1,500, right? So imagine you're losing every trade 1,000, 1,500, which will happen. Uh, can you get emotionally detached from this? Or is it going to affect you so much that you're going to get stressed every time when you enter a position? Because 1,000 is just really 1% of 100,000. Most traders will trade 1% as their account. But is 1,000 losing going to affect you emotionally? If it's going to be, then you need to work on emotion because we all, let's be honest, we all trade to be financially stable, right? So if you cannot handle losing $1,000 when your account size is in 100,000, then your account won't grow and you're not going to achieve anything more than this, right? Good, Ricky. Richie, yeah, I think no problem helping, learning so much from you and making many 1% tweak to my trading. Yeah, that's a good point, right? You need to work on things that you can change, right? You need to work on your emotion, work on your entries, work on your trading plan, things like that, right? It's hard to trade without emotion. What is the secret to trade without emotion? To be honest, that is all depends on you as a person, right? Um, it took me years to get emotionally detached, right? It may just take anybody one day, 1 month, right? There's no, everybody learns differently. I think this is the key why people fail in trading is because they compare themselves with others. They compare themselves with people around them. They see one trader take 1 year to master. They think, oh my God, I'm not even close to where this guy is after 2, 3 years, and I must be stupid or I must be dumb to do this. No, it's not. Everyone learns different, right? It's like some child prodigy who are good at music, and you compare yourself with this child prodigy who play music, who plays piano since the age of 3 till now, and you're comparing yourself with him. This just doesn't make sense, right? You need to compare yourself with yourself every year to see if you gain more and stuff like that, right? It's I would say the emotion part is the hardest in trading. It's not about the strategy, it's not about your style or entries or things like that. Those can all be work on and gradually you will get it. It's actually the emotion part because most people will lose money in trading, right? I think most people will agree that most people will lose money in trading, and after losing money trading, every time when they get back to trading they're chasing their money back. Okay, this is very key is that when they get back to the market they're always thinking about, oh, the few thousands I have lost or the 10,000 I have lost. So trading becomes very very hard for them now because every trade they enter, they're just looking to chase back their money. And it doesn't work that way, right? It just doesn't work that way. Okay. So that's what I see on them. Okay. So that's my take on everything. So hope you guys learned something there, sharing some of my thoughts there. Hopefully that will give you guys a little bit more clarity on my journey and what it works for me. Okay, at the end of the day you need to work on your emotion, right? That's how we're going to be successful in trading. Okay, so it's not about how many profit you make in this month, it's about can you be consistent for the next year, 5 years or whatever, right? Because you want to do trading for the next amount of years, then you need to focus on working on your emotion. Okay. Hey, thanks, trading safely, sorry. If you guys know, trading safely also do a lot of streams as well. Feel free to watch his stream or her stream. Okay, they do streams all the time on TradingView as well. Feel free to tune into that. So any other question, guys, before I end the stream? I think I went over everything. Good. I like these questions. I don't mind mentioning these questions as well. So, whenever you guys are live, feel free to throw me these questions. I don't mind explaining my story, my journey, and my kind of my lifestyle and things like that moving forward as well. Okay. So, like I said, just in two trades, euro, not euros, sorry, dollar yen. I mean dollar yen. Okay, dollar yen for the buy, looking for this push up, right? And then I'm also in Kiwi CAD, right? Kiwi CAD for the continuation upside. And like I said, I'll move. We talk about this, so I'll move my stop to break even, right? I'll move my stop to break even after this, and then I'll see what the price will do moving forward. Okay. So that is it, guys. Any other question? Let me know. If not, I'm gonna end the stream here and learn a lot today. No problem. Join my Telegram, Connie, if you haven't, and that's where you're going to see more of my things and interact with other people. Okay. Do you trade on Friday, or do you mean I hold trade through the weekend? I would trade on Friday, but not maybe a few hours, not a couple hours before market close. I usually don't like to trade before market close. So I like to because the last couple hours before market closes, usually the spread gets bigger, a little bit more volatile or less volatile, whatever you see it. But I don't usually like to enter trades before market closes. Just like I don't like to open trades. Excuse me. I don't like to open trades when market opens on Monday or Sunday night, whatever. It depends on where you are. Okay. All right, everyone. So thank you very much for tuning to this daily outlook. I will do another one next week for my weekly outlook. So feel free to tune into that. And as always, any questions, let me know in my Telegram. And I will see everyone next time. All right. So thank you very much, and have a good rest of the weekend, a week. Okay. See you guys.